Today, Julia and I are doing Hyrox mixed doubles. Woo! This is her first Hyrox, and we have done 0 training. So we're gonna see what exactly happens. We barely know what the stations are. We're gonna learn. We're just gonna adapt and figure it out as we go. We're gonna do the game plan probably while we're warming up. But we're here at the Washington, D.C. Convention Center. This video is sponsored by Levels.
All right.
Glucose monitor in. Let's race, baby. Hello. All right. She's about to get branded. You ready?
Ready.
We are now checking in. We have to get our wristbands, our time number on our forearm, and our little leg thing, the chip that goes on our leg, and race.
All right.
There we go.
040.
Wristband checks. Now we need to warm up and find the warm-up area and just, I guess, go through strategy because we haven't read the rule book yet, so we need to read the rule book. So we did live stream this event, and we will live stream New York City when we do that. If you want to do that, subscribe to notifications, not by choice. So we're gonna watch the live stream and kind of give our reactions and our thoughts as we go through it. We're just getting ready. There's a lot of equipment we gotta set up for camera gear and stuff, so that's stressing me out a little bit, but I think we're working right now. We moved our time up, so now we have about 30-40 minutes until we're up. I'm nervous because I didn't have time to warm up, and we were gonna read the rule book to see what the rules are, but now we don't know. We're just going in it. I didn't have time to prepare. We are totally unprepared, untrained. We have no idea what's gonna happen. And I don't know, we're just gonna go in this and hope for the best. I got my handy dandy M&Ms. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Extra nervous, I am not warmed up, but we'll see. Wish us luck, guys. Well, let's go have fun. You ready? You ready? It's gonna be great. You guys ready? It's gonna be great.
We're ready. I wish you guys were the same.
I know!
So there's like, if you want to, what do you feel like you do? You want to like push the sleds?
Where do I do that?
Sleds or around the corner?
Okay. Pre-race warm-up is an area where you can warm up. You can do the sled push, pull, the sandbag lunges, whatever it is. Because if you don't have the equipment, like we didn't have all the exact equipment, this is a place to kind of practice. And this is where we started to do the things for the first time. 2 minutes, 30 seconds.
So scary.
We're in the back for some reason, but it's gonna be better this way. Less crowds. We're in the back, more space. But that was a bit of a struggle. If you start at the end of the pack and then you're trying to push through, there's a lot of like weaving, especially at the beginning. Run number 1, 4:37 minute per kilometer pace.
So I was running fast, but also trying to pace myself.
Yeah, I was not warmed up and I was like, my legs felt tight. 1,000 meter SkiErg, 4:22.
I don't know, this one wasn't bad, but you did a lot of it.
What was our strategy going into it?
You, 60-40, like you started, and then I was like in the middle, and then you finished.
So yeah, our strategy for most of the stations was Shervin starts, Julia does the middle, Shervin finishes. So I would do like 40%, Julia would do 20%, and then I would do like 30%.
He's bigger than me. Look at him. He's massive. He's like 3 times my size. He's heavy, but he can move fast.
All right, update, SkiErg. Feeling strong. I think we took the run a little too hot, but that's okay. Julia's feeling good, I guess. Trying to take this part easy. Use it as recovery. And do the run fast. Let's see how we do.
But the SkiErgs felt pretty strong. I was holding a sub 2 minute pace, 150 maybe. And that was kind of the goal, like can we break 4 minutes? And it felt strong. I was trying not to push it too hard. We put it on the 7 dial. Felt good. And everyone around me was going like this really fast. And I was like, slow and steady, slow and steady. This is the first station. We're not gonna burn out. I think a lot of people think they can do a lot more than they actually can. So I was like, just maintain, just be strong. Run 2, 4:19. 50 meter sled push, 1:47.
This was really heavy for me also. Let's just get that out there. This was very heavy, but it wasn't as bad. I think our handoff was a little bad there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the initial strategy was like, I'll do one distance, Julia can do half, and then we can switch off. But I did one full, and then Julia did a full, and then I kind of did another full, and then Julia did about a half. Oh no, you did a full. And then we were confused because you have to do 4 lengths. And we were like, what do we do? And they're like, you gotta do 1 more. And then we're like, oh shoot, okay. And then we finished that last length and then we ran off. We like, I think that time of like trying to figure out what to do threw us off a little bit.
That run, yeah, that was a bad handoff. That run was really hard after that because my quads were shot.
Yeah.
Also, there was a couple that was cheating the entire time. We were in red, they were also in red, and they were only doing 1 of everything.
Run number 3, 4:45. $50-meter sled pull, 2:45. We were top 29.
Okay, I was
in the sled pull.
And the sled pull was the thing that I was the most freaked out about. So you did most of it.
So what, the first one, I did a full length and I did the strategy of like sit low. I know I can row 100 pounds in 1 arm. So I was like, I'll just sit low, pull when it's the farthest away because supposedly it's the heaviest when it's the farthest.
Yeah.
So I just sat, I would pull. And then at one point my arms got a bit tired. So then I switched to the strategy of like pull it to the back and then grab again, pull it all the way to the back, kind of the deadlift way. But I did 1 full distance and then we handed off to Julia. You did a little bit. And then I did more. I think I did 75-80% of this station. But
I don't really know what my strategy was. It was really heavy.
I think here, once again, it was like stronger runner, faster runner goes last.
It was bad.
I don't want to say anything, but every station.
I'm just saying. I'm just upset.
Every station we would finish before them, and we'd start running, and then once we got to the next station, they were already there. Having enough energy during the Hyrox is critical, and I want to make sure both Julia and I were tracking our glucose levels throughout the race, and that's where our sponsor comes in, Levels Health. If you've watched my videos before, you know that I use Levels in their AI to track my calorie and nutrient intake to help me lose weight. And today I'm using their ability to track my minute-by-minute glucose levels to see if we were taking the proper nutrition before and during our race. Levels offers you the ability to order a continuous glucose monitor or CGM of your choice effortlessly, and then they will correlate that data to your exercise, nutrition, and sleep so you can see your glucose values throughout the day. It has helped me to stop eating the foods that make me feel fatigued, and it has helped me during these athletic performances to make sure I'm getting enough carbs before and during the race. Let's dive into our glucose data to see how we performed during our Hyrox. So we can see Julia's glucose values during the entire day that day, but what I absolutely love is that for Hyrox, they will actually correlate the glucose data with our heart rate data during the race, and we can see how our heart rate was around 170 and her glucose was spiking during the race, which you want to see because you want more glucose and energy in your blood to support the fitness and the exercises that you're doing. So luckily for Julia, her glucose values were probably in a decent and good enough range for that experience. Now, it was a little different for me and my glucose values. And as you can see, my glucose data, I actually dropped in the middle of the race and then peaked near the end. So that just tells me I should have probably eaten more nutrition to be able to support my energy throughout the race. I did feel fatigued in that middle of the race and we were a bit rushed, so I didn't properly eat. But thanks to Levels, I know when New York City Hyrox comes up, I'm gonna make sure that I get enough nutrition. If you wanna start correlating your nutrition, sleep, and exercise to your live glucose values, click the link in my description to sign up for Levels today. Thank you again for sponsoring this video. Now back to our Hyrox race. Run number 4, 440. $80-meter burpee broad jumps, 341. Okay.
My jumps are so short.
My least favorite thing, burpees. I'm about to die here.
To be fair, I feel like I'm jumping really far.
But she's not.
I'm not getting, this is definitely another thing that I can work on.
So this part, I think I was a bit tired, and we made sure after every event we would grab water, and then I would grab Red Bull here and there just because I had it for free. But I was scared of the burpee broad jumps. I am a very big man, so it's harder to jump. But then watching Julia go, you know, she's cute little jumps, like little bunny hop. And then when I went, I was like, whoa, I can jump pretty far. And I don't know, maybe it's because I saw her jump and then I compared that to my jumps. But I was like, okay, this is actually not that bad. And I was just hammering through. You did a full station, full length, and then we started to do like half lengths after that, which we probably could have switched off a little more often to like help us recover faster. That would be one thing I'd change, I think.
I feel like watching this, I know that when I was going through this, I was trying to go slower to like get my heart rate down.
Julia did the third length, and then the last one, I did like half of it, and she did the last half. So Julia did more on the burpee broad jumps.
Carrying the team on my back.
All right, run number 5, 440, maintaining good pace.
Lap.
1,000-meter row, 448. Not the best. I think the rowing is where we messed up.
Yeah, because you were on a roll, and then you gave it to me, and you should have just kept doing it.
Yeah. But I was like, Julia needs to do some of the stations.
I was there to support and to help, but what we realized is that I'm just not very strong.
I think the rowing, you have an advantage if you're taller. I'm taller, but I was going and I got to like 600 and I was like, all right, hand off to Julia. So the 250 and then I'll do the last 250. Bad idea because her feet are half my feet size.
Yeah, that was also a struggle.
When you got out, I had to loosen it and I couldn't loosen it to fit my shoes in. Yeah, it's okay, you didn't notice. For the rower, I felt good. I was going slow and I could tell the girl next to me in the red, she started to compete with me at one point and she was going so fast. I was like, girl, I get it, you want to compete with me, but this is a Hyrox. We're like halfway through. And I was like, just slow and steady. Do not let the external factors like intimidate you. Run 6, 4:35. Speeding up. 200-meter farmer's carry, 1:19. We were 11th place.
Listen, I didn't know which kettlebells to pick up because I didn't know what I was doing. This is where, in this moment, this is where I wanted to die.
Julia's gonna go jump for some shoe bar. Drop it when you're done and I'll take over. You just stop and I'll pick it up. Don't worry about me.
Just drop them, and then I drop them.
Let's go.
And the man goes in a full sprint. Full, like, whizzes by me. He should have done the whole thing.
And then I just sprinted. Like, I knew I was strong, so I was like, if I run fast, I have to hold on to these weights for less time. On the farmer's carries, you just gotta, the way I'm gonna view it next time is we're doing a 1K run, 200-meter run with heavy weights, and then a 1K run. It's a 2K run, essentially. A 2.2K run.
This is where I started getting really frustrated with Shervin.
Run 7,
That's not easy.
4:38.
I'm dying.
100-meter sandbag lunges, 4:33.
I thought that I was going to be really strong at these lunges, even though I hadn't done a lunge in a really long time. What I learned was this was probably the most painful. This was the worst, I think.
Yeah, I struggled here the most.
This is where I struggled. I've never had a muscle cramp in my entire life. And you can see where I get my muscle cramp during this because Shervin goes, I'm cramping. And I'm like, I think I am too. It was really bad.
But what cramped for you?
It was my butt. It was my glute.
My quads are cramping. I can barely walk. I don't know how we're gonna do these lunges. Oh no.
So my quads cramped up. I think I'm just a quad dominant runner. And I remember being like, I can't do this. At this point, I was like, what did I do wrong? I didn't eat enough. I didn't train enough. I think maybe just muscle endurance. I didn't drink enough. I feel like I had a gel. I had 2 grams of sodium. I felt semi-prepared. I had a whole bunch of M&Ms.
I also think that if you're training for this, like, you gotta strengthen your knees. Because, like, hitting your knee on the ground over and over again was not very fun.
Run number 8, 5:23. We really slowed down here. Wall balls, 3:52. Not bad, not bad. Wall balls. You have nothing to say because you didn't do any?
Listen, I think I did a total of maybe 8 wall balls. I knew that I wasn't going to be able to do these, so I was like I've been telling you for months. I was like, you're gonna need to be able to do all of these. And when he tapped me in, I was throwing the ball, but it wouldn't even hit the thing. It would just shy down. So Shervin really had to, I was cheering him on. This is when I was really happy. I was like, Shervin, you're doing so good.
She's like, I'm done, I can now relax.
No, you really did. You did great during this whole competition.
So I think I did I did 40 non-stop, and then I handed it off to Julia. Because I was like, I could probably do 50 or 60. Oh, okay, so Julia did 13 after I did my 40. And then she handed it off. And then I went in and finished it. We got to 100. We sprinted off. We didn't really think about our finishing celebration. So we just kind of ran to the end. We just looked at each other, and then we just kind of like stood there. Like, we should have probably practiced, like, what are we gonna do at the end? How are we gonna run across the finish line?
111, all 3, baby. Let's go. Oh no. How you feel?
Terrible.
How much?
You probably
And then we just took a photo, and then that was kind of it. And then I just sat down because I was a bit tired, and there's free water, free beer at the end. You get a medal now, which is cool.
It's not easy. It's official. It's official, we did it. Finish. We did a Hyrox. Boom. Wait, can we jump him? Woo! I carried the team, guys.
Team on his back, baby.
I literally carried the entire race. and I'm still doing it.
What I learned is honestly I need to do more muscle endurance stuff. My quads started cramping up on the after like the 6th or 7th lap, and I was like, I got a side cramp. I didn't warm up enough. We moved the time earlier, so I wasn't prepared. Not enough warm up. Lunges destroyed me.
The lunges killed me.
Yeah, somehow I still survived. It happened last time. I still felt decent.
Okay, the lunges killed me. Yeah, that was the first time I've done those exercises in life. I haven't done those exercises.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I just have to practice. Because hot tip, when you start, stay on the outside.
Oh yeah, because it's so crowded.
Everybody thinks they're fast, but they're not. And then you get stuck. So the outside was the way to go.
And just yell left, left. Yeah, people do think they're faster than they are. But I would always look back to make sure we weren't in anyone else's way. We're gonna head back to New York City, go to bed. I'm not gonna shower because we don't have a place to shower. So I'm just gonna put on clothes, sit down with a wet seat, call it a day. I wanna thank Levels again for sponsoring this video and allowing us to do this Hyrox. If you do wanna get your glucose monitor, go down in the description. Click levels.link/shirt. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.